of death. Stay here and keep watch with me. He went on a little further and he fell to the ground and he prayed that if it were possible that this awful hour awaiting him might pass him by. Our Father, he cried out, everything is possible for you. Please take this cup of suffering away from me. Yet I want your will to be done, not mine. Then he returned and found the disciples asleep. That's a support group. Watch my back. Let's touch and agree. I'm deeply troubled. I'm distressed and I'm stressed out. Hang in there, hang with me till the wheels fall off. Then he returned and found them asleep. He said to Peter, Simon, are you asleep? Couldn't you watch with me even 1 hour? Keep watch and pray so that you will not give in to temptation. For the spirit is willing, but the body is weak. Then Jesus left them again and prayed. Left and prayed the same prayer as before. When he returned to them again, he found them sleeping again. For they couldn't keep their eyes open, and they didn't know what to say. What can they say? He done cracked them once, and he done cracked them again. And I'm just good they wasn't like us to start saying, I would have stayed away. But giving him all kind of excuses why I can't do what you asked me to do. But he's not interested in our excuses when he gives us power to do it. All you got to do is be willing. He'll give you the power to do it. Be willing to keep your eyes open. Be willing to watch my back. I'm going through something. I need you right now. This is his darkest hour. And he needs that support system.
Amen.
Let's go to 41. When he left again, and he went off to pray. And when he returned to them the third time, he said, go ahead and sleep. Before the resurrection, that's the support group. I wanted to read that because what that does is lets us know that if Jesus needed a support group when they're going through something, don't you think you do? When you come to your trials and your tribulations and when you're going through something, if Jesus had a human support group that he told them, come with me. I'm stressed. I'm going through a little something. Why you want to go through what you go through by yourself? Get you a support system to go with you through recovery, through what you're going through. Because I know if Jesus needed one and he's the Son of God, and you see he picked one to go with him, you need one.
Amen. Amen.
I need one. Yes. And also, I need to be somebody's reliable support. Amen. You need to be somebody's reliable support. Amen. You might be the only one that they can turn to.
Amen.
But you need to be reliable, not sleeping on the job. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
You know, a lot of us wonder, how could Peter, he saw all these things and he denied him? But we often do the same thing. Yeah. We do. When things get tough, we back out of our commitments. Things got tough, Peter backed out of his commitment. I'm not finna die with you. Man, let me up out of here. I don't know the man. But before it was, I'll be with you if I got to die with you. We rolling. You rolling or what? Peter, we rolling. Do you know him? I don't know him. All right. Don't roll like that. But see, we often do the same thing. When things get tough, we back out of our commitment to our families. I'm going into there and I'm going to come out straight and I'm going to get my life together and I'm going to raise my kids and I'm going to a commitment. But things got tough. My stomach started growling. I saw a picture about drugs on TV and I got to get up out of here now. I had a dream. And it wasn't Martin Luther King's dream. You know, so now I back out of my commitment to my family and my loved ones. I back out of my commitment to the courts and the PO. I back out of my commitment to recovery. And I back out of my commitment to God. And when we back out of our commitments, we end up returning to our old habits, our old lifestyle. Amen?
Amen.
Amen. Okay, now, that's before the resurrection. Let's go to, another thing about the resurrection. Let's go to Mark 16, 5 and 7. This is very important. Mark 16, 5 through 7. Word.
Word.
When they entered the tomb,
It's right there. It's on the side of the
this is after the resurrection, after the crucifixion, and he's not in the tomb, he's been resurrected.
Thank you.
But it says, when they entered the tomb, they saw a young man clothed in a white robe sitting on the right side. The women were shocked, but the angel said, "Don't be alarmed. You are looking for Jesus of Nazareth, who was crucified. He isn't here. He's risen from the dead. Look, there's where his body lay. There's where they laid his body. Now go and tell his disciples, including Peter, that Jesus is here in Galilee. He was in there, just as he told you before." I had to read that one because somebody out there called it too. I heard him chuckle. But he said, where is it? I'm going ahead of you to Galilee. You will see him there, just as he told you. Go up one more.
Very top, right there.
Oh, here we go. Now go and tell his disciples, including Peter. Go and tell, including Bugsy,
Amen. Right.
the stumbler, bumbler, liar, cheating, hooker.
Right.
Go and tell them to meet him because he's got something for him. Meet him because he's got power coming from on high. He said, don't forget, and tell Peter too. Now, regardless of how bad he stumbled, what he did, or how he denied, he said, make sure you tell Peter. Do you know he told the Holy Spirit, make sure you get bread. Make sure you find Laura. Make sure you get both of them angels. Make sure you touch Denise and Danny. Go down there, do your work, but make sure you get everybody straightened out. Don't forget Johnny and Dale. Don't forget Gary. Including Peter. We are the including group. That's where we come in. Amen. Ooh, including Peter. I've stumbled so bad. I've so many mistakes. I shouldn't. He told the bus driver, when you pull in, let him on board, but make sure you got Bugsy, because I got to get him back to Mary. Yeah. Ooh, including Peter. That's powerful.
That's right.
That lets you know that regardless of your hiccups and hang-ups, you're included. You included. You have access to that same power. To those that didn't stumble, didn't fall as deep as you did, didn't go beyond where man has ever been. You're still included.
Yes.
Amen. And the thing about it, if you look at Luke 24, you're going to see that when the women went back and they told the men, the apostles, what happened, Peter jumped up, took off, running to see, running to where the Lord is supposed to be, running to be a witness. Regardless to his stumble and his bumbling and his failure and his breaking his commitment, when he heard the good news that he's risen, he went to where only one that can help him, the only one that can forgive him, the only one that can turn him around from being this weakling to Peter, the rock. To let you know, regardless to how bad you stumbled, go to where God is. Regardless to how bad they talk about you, how many fingers been pointed at you, how many fingers you've pointed at you. Go to where he is. Run to where he is. Just like Peter did. Amen. Peter jumped up and took off running to be where the Lord is.
Amen.
Now, we want to go to Acts 2:14. We're going to see the transformation when the Holy Spirit comes in. When that Holy Spirit comes in Pentecost. Acts. Right after John is Acts. 2nd chapter. Verse 14. What happens? The Holy Spirit comes in like tongues of fire and wind rushing through the place. And people started speaking, and those that were speaking began to speak in the language of the people that were there. And they said, well, wait a minute. I'm a Greek. I'm from Mesopotamia. I'm from, wherever. Judea. I'm from different places. How are they talking? They just understand what they're saying. So the people that said, well, they must be drunk. They just babbling. Because now there's tongues is going on and they're hearing this in different languages. So they wanted, when you can't understand something, oh, he's just crazy. So they said they were drunk. But this same stumbling, bumbling, scary Peter that denied knowing Jesus, look what he does. Then Peter stepped forward with the other 11 that was locked in, hiding out and laying low too. Peter just did a little bit more outward denying, but all of them got locked in and shut down and don't tell nobody where we are. Yep. And stayed inside shaking, wondering what's the next move. This was the next move set by the Holy Spirit. Then Peter stepped forward with the 11 other apostles and shouted to the crowd. At first he let a woman spook him. Yeah, the woman. Do you know what you want to know? I don't know what you're talking about. But here, that Holy Spirit had come in and he shouted to the crowd. Listen carefully, all of you, fellow Jews. The Jews, oh my God, he was scared to death of the Jews at first. Because the Jews were the ones that arranged the whole setup with Jesus. But he said, all of you, fellow Jews and residents of Jerusalem, make no mistake about this. These people are not drunk. Then in 16 he says, know what you see was predicted long ago by the prophet Joel. In the last days, God says, I will pour out my spirit upon all people. Your sons and daughters will prophesy. Your young men will see visions, and your old men will dream dreams. Now drop down to 21. But everyone who calls upon the name of the Lord will be saved. This is the same man that ran from the name of the Lord. Aren't you with Jesus? And he took off running. But now he steps forward boldly, and he shouts to the crowd, including you Jews over there. I want y'all to hear this. Right. The same ones you ran from. He's talking to a crowd. When one little woman had him going, see that change in his life.
Yes.
Then he